What's up, folks? Just out for a ride today. I think it's Saturday, whatever it is, March 28th, maybe? Yeah, I think it's the 28th today. And I'm taking a ride. But I do it with mixed feelings. To be totally honest, I had a talk with my friend OSJ this morning. He was going out for a ride and asked me if I was. And honestly, I wanted to go for a ride yesterday. And, the day got away from me kind of, but I said, well, I'll go for a ride on Saturday. And, how does the day get away from you when you're locked down, huh? But it does. Anyway, so yeah, I said I'd take a ride on Saturday instead. And I got up early this morning to do it. It was only 33 degrees, but that's not bad. I figured it'd be in the 40s by 9, 10 o'clock. But I was talking to my wife about this last night. I kind of feel guilty about this, going for a ride. Yeah, I kind of feel guilty about going for a ride. And why? Well, I've seen online people talking about taking the chance of going out riding and getting into an accident and have to go take use resources that are better used elsewhere. And then why take the risk? I could wait a couple of weeks. And really, yeah, I get that. And there's certainly a lot of validity to that. But you can say that about motorcycling all the time, really. I know that these times are special, but really, motorcycling in general, for most people, it's an extravagance. And accidents cause insurance rates to rise. It's you can run all of those scenarios. And really, all of them have some validity. But this was different for me today. This was about guilt, kind of being selfish. Because that's what I was looking at this as, a selfish act to go for a ride. And I guess to an extent, riding is a selfish act anyway. But, because you put yourself at risk. You have a family, you have kids, you have people that depend on you, a job, all of that stuff. So, in a way, it's an extravagance and a bit selfish anyway. But what was bothering me was what's going on in the country right now, and how me taking a ride today is related to it. And I had this discussion with Jim this morning, and he said, well, Rich, people suffer all over the world every day. It doesn't keep you from taking a ride. People live in not as nice a house as you do. That does, and all of that is valid and true. And I guess that's why this really comes down to a situation where it really depends how, I guess, your heart is. And what I was thinking about this morning was being selfish and going for a ride and kind of indulging my extravagance while there were healthcare workers putting their lives on the line to save people all around the world. I'm taking a motorcycle ride. And my wife goes into work every night at UPS to make sure that all of the packages get shipped out. And she's mainly concerned in her facility with she's concerned with drugs. No, she does all the paperwork for all that stuff, for the people at the VA that need their medicine and all that stuff. So she's responsible for that. And there's no way you could talk her out of going into work. She feels responsible for that. So, in light of all that stuff, the truckers that are getting refused service at rest areas and all the stuff that's going on, and I'm taking a motorcycle ride. Just in a way, it kind of doesn't sit right with me, and that's what I said to Jim this morning. I said, well, whether I take a motorcycle ride today or not will depend on what level of selfishness I'm willing to view myself as. How selfish am I? But then there's the other side of it. I'm not hurting anybody. And if I want to really rationalize taking this ride, I could say I'm riding for my friend Tony Reno over in Italy because he can't ride. He's locked down. Yeah, he can go down to the store. They can't really take a proper ride. So I could say I'm doing it for him. I'm doing it for his entertainment so that he'll be able to watch it. Yeah, you can rationalize anything, and I guess you can make yourself feel guilty about anything, which is maybe I've spent too much time doing that about this. But it's kind of the way my mind works. I tend to contemplate things maybe too much. But while I'm doing this, I just really want to extend a word of thanks to all the people who are out there doing what they do every day. They're being Americans. And they're putting their nose to the grindstone to get it done. They're switching over their manufacturing facilities from making shirts to making masks. They're also switching over their car producing capabilities to make ventilators, or they're selling, they're cutting and selling face shields for personal protective equipment. Americans are amazing. Really, we are. We don't contemplate our belly buttons a lot. We just get it done. And we've pulled together as a country to an extent. I have to tell you that, I'm new to Facebook. And although I really, really enjoy some of the groups that I'm involved in, I have to tell you that I see a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm not looking for it. It just comes my way, which is the thing that I've always hated about Facebook. I'm learning how to pick and choose what comes my way, but in the meantime, it's a little hard. Because listen, and this isn't about politics, okay? I've already said that I'm not gonna make any of this about politics. My channel or this particular situation. But what I see on Facebook really kind of distresses me, because I've decided that Facebook in general, it's almost like the high school of the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, everybody kind of postures and all of that stuff. They slap up their little things for people to see. And as I said, I'm new to Facebook, and I really kind of I think I have to get a little bit more comfortable with it, because the interactions that I have on Facebook, I love them. I love Facebook for that. What I don't like Facebook for is all the stuff that comes across my eyesight that I'm not wanting to see. How do I shut that off? How do I shut that off? And I would just ask, whatever your political persuasion, and I know we're all different. That's what makes America great, is that we can all be different. And whatever your political persuasion is, I don't care. You've got a right in this country to say it. You've got a right, and it doesn't come from the government, guys. It comes direct from God. That's no matter who you are, what you believe. And whether I agree with you or not, I'm going to do my best to protect your right to say what you want. whether I agree with you or not. That's the way I was brought up. And I can tell you that most people my age, that's the way we were brought up. There used to be an expression, I may disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the death to protect your right to do it. And that's honestly the way I feel. And I just wish, that's why, all this stuff on Facebook that I'm complaining about, it's my fault. I'm on Facebook. I'm not asking anybody to shut that stuff off. I don't, that's not me. It's just, I wish that at least until this is all over, we could all just stop being conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, libertarian, socialist, and we could just all start being Americans. Listen, look around you, man. We are fighting this thing. We got the best numbers of any other country in the world. We've got the most cases right now of COVID. But here's the deal. I'm sure that the number of cases that are in this country dwarfs what we've actually confirmed. It's very, very contagious. And that's not bad news. That's good news. According to Dr. Brooks, she said that as that denominator goes up, the more cases that we have and that death number stays the same, the less and less fearful we have to be of this. And the problem is that it's all hitting at once. So we don't want to get overwhelmed. But could we just put it all aside and cheer for America? Could we just cheer for us all to be good and back to where we were, and for the economy to be good again, and for all of us to just go back to arguing about politics? I'd really like it if we could just put it all aside for a few days, a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months. The election will be here before we know it, and we'll be arguing again. So, listen, to each his own. I just wish everybody would give it a rest for a little while. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. So I'll say, over and out.